What's going on, everybody? Happy Thursday. We're back, and it's a great day. It's Thursday. We don't have a guest today, but we have a really good topic. So I'm excited. And as always, I got Miss Ward with me. How you doing, Miss Ward?
I can't complain. You know, I'm all about let's go get it.
There you go. Yeah. So you survived the hurricane, huh?
Yeah, you know, my prayers goes out to everybody in every state that was affected. Cause this, like the Tampa Bay mayor said when she was telling people to get out of there, the Tampa mayor, she's like, I got one thing for you. Mother Nature always wins. And she was not lying. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Hope everybody out there that was affected by the hurricane is doing okay. And like Miss Ward said, we've been praying for you guys and hope that everybody's doing all right. We got a couple people checking in this morning. Got Adam, as always. How you doing, sir? Nice to see you. Dr. Dan checking in. How you doing, brother? Always good to have you on. Oh, I kind of cut him a little short. Got Mr. Hartland checking in. Good to see you, man. Hope you're doing good. Um, got Denny checking in from Gray's Repair. I think that's a new name. I don't believe I've seen that one before. Hope you're doing good, Denny. Thank you for joining us. But yeah, it's been kind of a crazy week for me. I'm not even gonna front, but moving over to the new office, closing the old store, trying to get the warehouse halfway set up so that we can still operate. It's been interesting, but I'll tell you what, I'm excited. I'm pumped up, and the topic for today is KPIs, and we're going to talk about KPIs. This is a topic that you're going to hear a lot about in the Service Alliance community, in the business entrepreneurship community, anywhere you go where people are serious about business and serious about doing their thing when it comes to business. They're going to be talking about KPIs because of how important they are. But either way, the topic of KPIs is one of those that I really need to talk about right now, because if I'm going to be an open book with you guys, like I always try to be, it's something that I've been struggling with, and something that I was really good at for a good long time, and that I've slacked off here recently. And it's just like anything else. You get busy, other things come up, and you don't prioritize certain things. And some major mistakes were made on my company's behalf between me and the rest of my team, because we weren't keeping up on our KPIs and doing things. You think it might be mundane. You think it might be, oh, it's not that important, but it truly is. And Miss Ward was actually one that called me out on it. I love Miss Ward because she calls me out on all my shit. I was having a bunch of recall issues with the tech. And like I always tell you guys, I'm an open book. I don't get on here and pretend like I'm perfect. I had a bunch of issues with a tech, recall after recall after recall, and they were adding up. And me and Miss Ward were on the phone talking about it, and she straight called me out. She said, TK, it's your fault. I was like, how's his recalls my fault? And then she said, you weren't tracking stuff properly. If you were keeping up with your tracking his recalls, this would have never been an issue. You would have squashed it before it started. And man, I ate that humble pie, and I was like, she's exactly right. And I love people like that. If you just got a bunch of people that are patting you on the back and saying, go for it, go, yeah, you're doing good, you need to change the people around you. I love people like Miss Ward because they call me out. And I took it to heart. And not only am I improving my tracking, but I'm also adding things. I'm starting to look at things that I was not tracking that I need to track, and adding those things to my list. So shout out to people like Miss Ward. No, this is not pre-recorded, Mr. O. We appreciate you joining us. This is live. We are live. If you say something in the comments, I can repeat it. Like, is this pre-recorded? No, it's not. We're live. Aren't we, Miss Ward?
Absolutely.
So yes, we are live. Oh, here's my boy Kurt Benefield. How you doing? Oh, great pick,
What's
man. That
up,
is
Kurt?
awesome.
Kurt, let
What
me
is
hold
that
something. Let
on
me
here?
hold something. I know you
Yeah,
got
let
it.
us hold $1, Kurt.
Let me
We know
hold
you
something.
got it, brother. That's who we got to get on, Miss Ward. We got to get Kurt on with us.
Yep.
Awesome guy. I believe he's down in North Carolina, if I'm not mistaken. Well, I have a request, Miss Ward, if you're okay with it. I would like for you to pray this morning because you haven't prayed in a while,
Okay.
and I miss those beautiful, beautiful prayers of yours.
No problem. Lord, thank you for covering us in the midst of every storm, through nature, through life, through business, just even the internal storms that we deal with on a daily basis. You know, the fact that we didn't want to get up this morning, the fact that sometimes we forget how blessed we are. Thank you for your mercy and grace. Thank you for giving us grace in our business development and growth, and our decisions as we walk new paths and blaze new trails. We try to make every step with you in mind and putting you first. Lord, thanks for covering us in our poor decisions and poor choices. And thanks for always giving us a way up and out. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much.
Mhm.
So,
No worries. We all in it. Trust me. We all dealing with it.
yeah, and it goes perfectly with today's verse. We don't always do a verse, me and Miss Ward. Not that we don't think that scripture is important, but sometimes we have guests on, sometimes we have things going on. But I wanted to share this verse today because it's one of those verses that I hold strong to in my life. Um, you know, when trials come, when times of struggle come, um, I go back to this verse and I always remember not to worry. God's got this. No matter the outcome, no matter what happens, God's got this. And today's verse is Philippians chapter 4, verses 6 through 7. It says, "Don't worry about anything. Instead, pray about everything. Tell God what you need and thank Him for all He has done. Then you will experience God's peace, which exceeds anything we can understand. His peace will guard your hearts and mind as you live in Christ Jesus." I love those verses because one thing we have to realize as believers, worry is a sin. Um, Worry is a lack of faith, and all of us are guilty of it. Me, Miss Ward, you, every person, we all have times when we worry and stress. And obviously, the biggest part of this verse is giving your worries and your cares over to God. But another way I truly believe in tying this into what we're talking about with KPIs, like you like TK, what on earth does that have to do with KPIs? God expects us to do our part. One thing people will take this verse and they'll just say, "Oh, let go and let God, brothers and sisters. Let go and let God." And all those little cliche Christian phrases are cool, and that's fine if you want to use them. But God wants you to do your part. Once you've done everything you can do, that's when God steps in. And that's why you need to be tracking things and keeping records of things and doing your part, whether it's in business or life or marriage or relationships or friendships or parenthood or whatever. But in business, if you're not tracking things and keeping a record and keeping the score as you go of what's happening, there's going to be a lot of worry. I was worried about those recalls that were mounting up. But you know what? It wouldn't have been much of a worry for me had I been tracking them properly, like Miss Ward told me. Um, you might be worried about your income stream and how much money you got coming in and how much you're going to have at the end of the month. But you know what can help you worry less? Keeping track of stuff, keeping your KPIs up to point, and doing what you're supposed to be doing. Um, so That's how I tied it all together. Don't worry. It's like Bob Marley said, don't worry about a thing. Every little thing is gonna be all right. And another one of my favorite songs, I have no idea who sings this song, but it was really cool because my dad, they actually played this song at my dad's funeral. And that song is Don't Worry, Be Happy. Another awesome song that I love. So don't worry, guys, be happy. But let's talk about these KPIs. Miss Wood, do you want to kick it off or you want me to kick it off? Because it's a lot to talk about, and we do have to hop off at 8:30.
Okay, no problem. Let's get started. So what I want to discuss is the different KPIs uh, from when you're starting and growing your appliance repair business. In order to have KPIs or even get a good sense, you have to have a keen understanding of the key performance indicators that track the progress and ensure success in your business. And here are a couple of options. During the startup phase, one thing that I think people don't overlook because they are not comfortable in business is CAC, which is customer acquisition costs. You hear a lot about that in multiple businesses, but that's very important. And what the CAC is, it measures the average cost to acquire a new customer. It helps in budgeting and understanding the efficiency of the marketing strategies. So when you early on, a lot of people are told to go through warranty because when you go through warranty, you're cutting down on your acquisition costs to a certain extent. And that allows you to learn, get on your feet. Say you work for a company, you want to dip your toe on the side and do some stuff, you can do that type of thing. But just be careful because you have some non-compete clauses. So make sure you know what you're doing before you walk in that world. The next thing would be customer feedback and reviews. You have to track the initial feedback to gauge service quality and areas of improvement. That's important because a lot of times, you go into a customer home, you starting in business, and you going off your feelings. I tell people all the time in business, please get out your feelings because reality you need to track so you can make the right moves for your business. You have to understand the lifestyle you want. I want them people, I believe in building your business around the life that you want to have. So if you make certain decisions in the beginning and they're not going to be perfect, I mean, it kills me when people think they can just lay out a blueprint and follow the blueprint and it's good. The blueprint is just a map. It is not the end all. It's a nice place to start, but you got to put your twist on it. A lot of people that come to me for coaching, I move differently because I need to understand what their goals are, who they are as a personality. Then we can build something around who they are so they're successful in their skin. I watch a lot of people trying to mimic myself. Like they'll listen to my videos and like, okay, she said this, I'm gonna do that. Then get mad when it worked for 2 seconds and then stop. Because what they don't understand is that this is an initial situation and that you have to put some ingenuity and you got to put you in it. You not Miss Ward and I'm not you. And I think that's something that people have to be clear about. The next thing you want to track initially is the number of service calls. Monitor the number of service requests received. This provides an early indicator of market demand and the effectiveness of your promotional efforts. Then this another one that kill people before they get out the gate. Response time. You should be measuring that. Measure the time it takes from receiving the service request to attending to it. Faster response times can be a competitive advantage. You people that's out here complaining about all these leads from Thumbtack and from all these other companies that do recycle leads, they send them to 900 people at the same time. One thing that made me really successful when I first started, and I actually used Thumbtack in the beginning, I would have a template already copied and pasted. So when my customers would reach out, I already was sending them information. And I was using the fact that we're in that age where everybody understands how to text. A lot of people want to talk to people on the phone, but a lot of your transactional customer base, because that's the world we're in, you got to be able to be that transactional and make it happen. You know, the other thing is, these KPIs are what you want to do initially when you're starting up. You want to add anything before I can go to the development phase?
I was actually just taking notes, but I mean, I definitely one of the big one that you touched on that I like to hit on for just a second is the customer acquisition cost. When you first start out, it's extremely important to know and have an eye on how much you're spending to get those customers. Now, I've told you guys a million times, I was extremely fortunate in my business. My situation is not going to be your situation. I fell into a golden situation that I spent little to nothing acquiring customers. But what Ms. Ward just said, a lot of people need to listen. When you first start out, those warranty companies can be the answer to your problem. When I first started out, I signed up with so many a bunch of them, but they were all on a trial basis. And I want to say this: you can lose a ton of money if you do not stay on top of those warranty companies, because they don't want to pay you what you're worth. They don't want to pay you on time. If you do not get, I posted in the Service Alliance group, business owners group yesterday, if you do not get your reconciliations in order from the jump, you are going to lose money. And ask me how I know, because I lost thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in my first years as a business owner. And I guarantee you, if you don't have a system for reconciling your invoices, especially with these warranty companies, because this is what happens. And Miss Ward, tell me if I'm wrong. This is what happens. The checks start coming in and you're happy because you're getting checks and you're getting, 4,000 or 5,000 here. And then you get a $8,000 check from this one and you get these checks. But you're not going back and reconciling those with the jobs you've done. You have to reconcile your invoices, not just with warranties, across the board, reconciling those invoices. Because if not, and especially with property managers, oh my goodness, they will rip you a new one. Reconcile your invoices. If you're listening to this podcast this morning and you are thinking, I want to grow my business, I want to hire technicians, I want to hire CSR. If you do not have your invoice reconciliations processes in place this moment, forget about hiring anybody. You are not ready. And that's, you can't argue. You can argue with me if you want to, but you're wrong. Until that process of reconciling your invoices is in place, how can you even know what your cost of customers is costing you? You don't even know if you're getting paid or not. Number one important thing is the money. The number one important thing is that you get that money. And for way longer than I'd like to admit, I did not have a proper system for that. Please, people, if you're a new company, if you've been doing this for years, if you do not have that process in place, just do it. If you need help, reach out to me, reach out to the Service Alliance group, reach out to Ms. Ward. We'll help you. It's not hard, but it takes time and it takes actually documenting the systems, because I don't reconcile my invoices anymore. I pay somebody else to do it. And she does it better than I would. Sorry, I had to rant for a minute. Proceed, madam.
Yeah, so touching on that warranty piece, there's a couple of things in caveats I want to discuss. One is, a lot of people go the warranty route because they want the warranty company to supply the parts and da 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 da. I never work with a company and allow them to supply the parts, because number one, I need my markup on my parts. I need to be able to control my ability to get the job done so that I can collect as quickly as possible. And I think you have to watch falling into these traps, because when people are delivering parts to you, you're at the mercy of completion and you're at the mercy of them paying you. The other thing I recommend, if you're going to deal with warranty companies, and we got to do a whole session on warranty companies because this is a whole situation. You need to develop relationships not only with your rep and not only with the young ladies and young men and young ladies that take your calls when you're calling in for authorization. I personally submit all my stuff. Me calling in for authorization is always the last situation unless it's a check and advise. And the reason is I like to control my paperwork. I like to control the presentation, and I like to make sure everything is itemized so that my profitability is at an all-time high. I do not play about my bag. Anybody that deals with me in coaching, no, I do not play about my bag. I will give you more information than you pay me for, but I do not play about my bag in any area of my life. The other piece I want to explain to people, y'all ignore the back office at these warranty companies. You're going to have to develop relationships with that accounting department. All the warranty companies I deal directly with the head of accounting. I deal with the young ladies in the office in the back end who cut the checks. Let me tell you something. I know the check cutting times. Like, for instance, I call people on my roundtable who have relationships with the same warranty companies I do. I let them know, okay, you're going to get 2 checks this week because it's the end of the month. Instead of doing it on the traditional Wednesday, they're going to actually do it on Friday. And then the following week, they're not going to do it on Wednesday, they're going to do it on Thursday. Then they're going to do another one at the end of the month. And that's understanding accounting. Do you think I understand accounting? No, I just know how to find my money. You follow me? And that's what I keep trying to tell y'all. At the end of the day, you work hard and you can't blame nobody but you when your stuff ain't balancing. And then you don't know when your check's coming. Like, I talk to people all the time, and I'm not mad at you because I was that person. That's why I'm the asshole I am today. Excuse my language. Because I am holding me accountable. You watch my videos, I'm always telling you I'm talking to me. This is from experience. So with that said, that's all I got to say on that. We're gonna move on to the next one because we gotta go get this bag. So the next thing in your development phase, you want to look at your repeat business rate. Okay, it measures how many customers are coming back, and a higher rate indicates satisfaction and trust. So that goes back to them 5-star reviews. Y'all need to make sure that's something you should have been handling in the startup phase, because that helps you tweak your ability to take care of the client and who's your proper what's the word we're looking for that starts with an A? Avatar. Who's your customer? That type of situation. The next thing you want to look at is technician efficiency. Especially if you're the only tech and you're a one-man show, time taken per repair. You look at House Call Pro, WorkKeys, all these units, all these apps give you the option of starting times and complete times of your repair. You're paying for the apps, maximize the app. And if you can't afford to do it, you got to stopwatch on every phone. So don't try me. At the end of the day, if you want to be efficient, you want to focus on that. You look at those areas you have challenges in the field, and you always hear me talk about training, leveling up, and hands-on. That's how you not only become a superior tech, that's how you become a superior business person. Um, you also want to look at the number of repairs done per day that are done properly and accurately, you know? And the next thing you want to look at is revenue growth rate, monthly or quarterly growth rate in the revenue. A positive and growing rate is a sign of business health. Now, people who know me know I'm always focusing on 100,000 a month. They're like, why is she focusing on 100,000? Because I understand 5,000 a day is possible, even if you work by yourself. You work by yourself, you should be doing 25. I'm just telling you, 2,500 a day. And I'm talking about on 5 calls. I'm not talking 10. But anybody who's been coached by me understands my ticket average. They understand I'm looking at average per ticket, turnaround time, and things like that. How you really structure and dissect your business for growth. And last but not least, you got to make sure you're paying attention to operational costs. Monitor overheads and operation that it takes as far as dollars, gas, fuel, uniforms, those things you've got to be into. And that's when you're developing your business. We had a great conversation with Justin Gandy, my guy. And I mean, he's on it. When you see this guy pushing these numbers, he's driven like that. But you also understand he paid a cost for that. If you're not willing to grind, y'all, this ain't for you. I'm telling you. And the last part is going to be growth phase. The growth phase deals with net promoter score, and that measures customer loyalty and satisfaction. A high NPS indicates high customer satisfaction and a greater likely of referrals. Expansion rate. If you're looking to grow, measure the rate of expansion into new markets and service areas. You got to make sure you're looking at employee turnover rate as you hire more staff. And these for you guys that want to expand. Um, You have to keep them certified. You got to keep them trained, and you got to let them buy into the dream. That means you got to believe the dream yourself, and you better be living it, because people don't follow people that tell them what to do. They follow people that they want to do what they do. This is a fact. And in all phases, there are a couple of things should be concerned about. You should also be concerned about market share, measuring your business share in the local appliance market, and you got to look at profit margins. You should be measuring profit margins at every stage. Anytime you buy a part, anytime you're doing, you should be looking at, have a point. I hear people talk about 25% profit, 20, and that's a lot of the people who are running with what's the word I'm looking, running with staff. For those who ain't running with staff, is your profit margin is even more important, because you got to put money away when you're not working, because if you ain't working, you ain't eating. At the end of the day, it is what it is. Okay. And you always got to be on top of customer satisfaction. Continuously track customer feedback, reviews, complaints. No, my average per call is about $1,200 to $1,500, bro. It ain't five, but that's a different conversation. I'm not 500 per call. I left that years ago when I was a pup. Like I started in 2019, I think then, and you know what? I think I actually, my first month in 2019, I probably did 60 or 70,000. People like, how the hell? But they don't understand my background. But we're not talking about that on this one. We're talking about development. And you got to realize I moved people from day one. Anyone that follows my journey, I have moved this way from the beginning, because I come from, my background is in high-end automotive. So I've always had my brain has always worked that way. When I'm dealing with a certain clientele, that's why I specialize in high-end. Like, it's a whole different world. But anyway, my ticket average is roughly 12 to 1,500 per ticket. All right, now that you got me off track, Paul, appreciate that, bro. I'm a numbers girl, so I'm like, what? No, it's not 500. But I'm saying people can do 500. How can you not do 500 average per ticket? Like, I don't understand that. But for me, you got to understand, when I'm going to just do a quick tangent, because now y'all got me started. The reason I say it's 500 per ticket is because my avatar and customer base, and how I schedule my jobs and how I move, I only deal with clients and jobs that is my target, that I know I'm going to walk out the door with 500, unless it's just a diagnostic and they don't want to pay. But the back end work I do is why I'm able to produce those numbers. You understand what I'm saying? It's not just like I know of some jobs, like a door, what you call it, a door switch or a lid switch, 250, 350, whatever. But I deal with a clientele that's different. Like, I expect to go into my clientele. If I'm looking at 3 appliances, I'm going to be basically making anywhere from 750 to 1,200 per appliance, regardless of what it is, because I only deal with mainly high end. And that's because those parts, even though the labor is very similar to the domestics, you got to realize I'm dealing with a clientele. If I don't charge my clientele accordingly, then I won't be servicing them. Like, it's a whole different mindset. But we can talk about that on another show. You got anything else? Because we at that mark, son.
I've been trying to pay attention as best I can, but this freaking smoke detector in my background is driving me absolutely crazy.
I hate that shirt,
that's
man.
why
I'm with you.
Man, I've unplugged 3 smoke detectors already, and it's still beeping. So I apologize to everybody for that. Apparently, there's a hidden smoke detector in my house that no one knows where it is, because I've been running around, and me and my family have been
Mine's
running around,
chirping too.
unplugging everything. God, I hope the house doesn't catch on fire, because we're screwed at this point. But no, that's good stuff. And one thing I do want to say, your average per ticket is going to be different. A lot of you are going to hear Miss Ward say $1,200 to $1,500 and be like, holy moly, I'm not getting that. Well, I can tell you right now, I'm not getting that. But that goes back to a completely different topic of what your business plan is. Miss Ward caters to high-end customers. My customer, if I went into some of my customers' houses, they'd run me out with a pitch. I do a lot of property management for for people that they're not going to pay me $1,200 to fix their washing machine. They're going to go out and buy a new one. And I'll sell them a new one too. So don't, you have to know what your numbers are. Don't listen to other people and say, oh, I must not be doing good because I'm not getting $1,200 per job. What is your business plan? What is your target customer, that avatar that she talked about? When you started your business, hopefully you wrote out a business plan. And your business plan is only going to be tracked and successful if you're keeping good KPIs. If your average per call right now is $400 a call, well, maybe 2024, you should make one of your goals to get that average up to $500-600. So all this stuff goes together, writing your business plan and all these different things, whether it's your business plan, whether it's your KPIs, whether it's your goals, whatever, they all evolve. They all change. As we're talking about this, I've been writing down certain KPIs that I want to start tracking. And I've been writing a few down recently. We just recently in the last year started to do the 1-year warranty on all repairs, on all part repairs with a part. And one thing that I forgot to do when I first started that was add a system in to track how many callbacks we're getting on those, which they're few and far between, believe it or not. But I went out on 2 different jobs, and it was the same repair, both flat bar glow bar igniters on a gas oven, and I got recalls on both of them because the igniter had failed within a year. But if I'm not tracking that stuff, I have no idea how many of those I'm doing, how much money I'm losing to do that, to see like, okay, do I need to shift something? Do I need to pivot? Do I need to change my warranty? Do I need to start stocking a different igniter? So just little things like that. Always be adding to. Don't ever get complacent and say, okay, well, everything's going good. I'm happy. You know, I'm not going to keep changing and adding and improving. You always got to be improving. You always, because I am guilty of it. I get complacent and things are going smoothly and you just go with the flow. It's easy to do, especially when you have my type of personality. But yeah, we're going to wrap this thing up. Thank you guys. We got a couple people checking in. King K, thank you both for your time and expertise. Great information for me as I move into appliance repair on the coast of Georgia. Shout out to Georgia. Shout out to King K. Thank you for joining us. I apologize to everyone for this annoying ass beep. There it goes. As soon as I said it.
Hey, that's mine going off.
Oh, that's yours?
Yeah, I told you mine was going off too. It's right here above me. So you've been unplugging yours and it's me.
Oh, you're freaking kidding me.
Hey, welcome to my life, man. I got one. I took one down in front. I got one right here that's going off. You heard it?
Are you sure? Because it sounds like it's coming from like right
Look,
behind
did
me.
you just hear it? It just went off again.
Yeah, I heard it.
I'm telling you.
Oh my gosh.
Mhm.
I've literally had my kids running around the house.
Welcome to
Find that
live
smoke detector.
podcast.
I was like, we don't have any more smoke detectors. It's
Yeah,
on
that's
Miss
mine
Ward's,
going on.
say good morning, baby.
Good morning.
This is Dana.
Hey, cutie. See, it just went off again.
Oh, that is so funny. I've been literally racking my brain trying to figure out where the heck this smoke detector is. All right. Well, this has been an interesting morning grind. But seriously, if you need help with your KPIs, if you haven't gotten started, reach out. The biggest, and I sound like a broken record, but the biggest thing you can do is get yourself around other people that are doing it. Other people that'll hold you accountable. I'll tell you right now, people like Miss Ward and EJ, they are the reason that I am able to do the things that I do and track the things that I track. And I'm not perfect with it. And if you talk to EJ, he'll tell you the same thing. We always, we'll get on a call together and we were like, hey man, how you doing with your KPIs? Man, I've been slacking on it, but we keep each other accountable, and that's part of what the community does. So either way, reach out if that's something you're struggling with. If you're struggling with anything in your business, reach out to the Service Alliance group. As always, you can find Miss Ward over at Solid Steps to Wealth on YouTube. She's here every Thursday with me. Next week, we might have a guest. We might not. You never know. You got to tune in to find out. But we are lining up some guests for the future. I know I talked to Kurt recently. I'm trying to get Kurt Benefield on here. Miss Ward's been lining up some really good guests, so thank you for that. And as always, EJ Magic Mike will be on tomorrow with a co-host or two. And if you ever want to come on the show, if you're a regular watcher or you just started watching, reach out to us. We'd love to have you on. If you have some experience, little experience, it doesn't matter. We just love to have you come on and talk with us and chat. So go out there and kill it today. And Miss Ward, thank you as always for helping me. Please, for the love of God, fix that smoke detector. And we will catch you guys next time.